All right, so lesson 10 is kind of just review on examining quadratic functions and reviewing all the parts of it, the vertex, the axis of symmetry, the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, and so on. So I'm just gonna go through some of this stuff with you guys, and then you guys are going to complete page 4. So page 3 has like the information, and page 4 is like your homework. So it's again reviewing x-intercepts, vertex, what's the sign of the leading coefficient, what does that mean, max and min. I just want to make sure we're all good with this before we go on to other skills that we need to learn before we do more of quadratics. So just an opening exercise. Use the graph at the right to fill in the answer column of the chart below. We're just going to do the first column together. So looking at this graph, you're going to notice that the equation is in a different format, but there still is a squared value. And you guys know if we take this x plus 3 and it's being squared, that means we're doubling it. So we're going to distribute. So this will be a quadratic, and we'll talk about this more. This is actually called vertex form, but we're going to get to that later in our unit. So as the shape of the graph, the shape is a parabola or a U shape. Does it have symmetry? Yes, quadratic have symmetry. It's the axis symmetry. Why is it symmetrical? Because we have, if we look closer, these points here are symmetrical to each other. So we have 2 across from each other, 2 across, 2 across. And if we graph this, and if we put in our graphing calculator, look at the table, we're going to see a pattern. What does the function do when x is greater than -3? So if it's greater than -3, it's actually going to the right. So when it's greater than -3, what's happening? So -3 is here. -3 is actually our vertex or our turning point right here. So what happens after? Well, as we go greater than -3, it is going up, so it is increasing. And I can't type. What does the function do when x is less than -3? It is also increasing. Well, the y values. So the y values are increasing. I'll be specific. And we can say it's turning to the right. So this one, when x is less than -3, it's going increasing, turns left, and the other one was turns right. Okay. What are some of the special points on this graph? So that we have the vertex, which was -3, -1. And that's always in the middle of that's like the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry would be -3, x equals -3. We only take that first number. This is an x value, so that means the line in the middle is the x value. Where does the graph cross the y-axis? What's the y-intercept? If you see this point here, looks like it hits at 0, 8. All right, where does the graph cross the x? It's where these 2 dots are at the bottom. So we have right here. So they were -3, oh no, let's see, -2 and -4. Okay, we'll put that here. So you can say x equals -4 and x equals -2 if you wanted to put a point. Remember to put the x value first and then the 0. Whatever you want to do. Just make sure you know how to see both the ways. And then what is the lowest point on the, it's called the minimum, which is our vertex, right? The vertex is considered the minimum or maximum, so that would be -3, -1. And that's where it does a little swoop thing down here. Okay? So just a review. Hopefully we know what these words mean. I did post like a Quizlet index cards of these definitions, and if you still are confused at how to get these things or what they are, what they mean, please reach out to me. Okay, I do check over your homework, and then I do have you guys make sure you check your responses because I want you to take account for like your work and and ask me questions on what's confusing because maybe it seems like you don't get something, but it's really just like a little math error, and I can't see that because I'm not working with you personally. Okay. All right, so below you see only one side of the graph of a quadratic function. Complete the graph by plotting 3 additional points of the quadratic function. Explain how you found these points, and then fill in the table to the right. So I'll help you with this. And again, you don't have to graph. I'm not asking you to get out graph paper because I don't know if you have graph paper at home. I'm not asking you to print this either. But we'll do some of this together. So if we have our values, let's see, we have negatives. 1 point is -3, -6. We'll put that in here. Whoa. All right, what's another point we got? Oops. We have -2, -1. And I have -1, 2. Now, if you look, we're not seeing a lot of points here. We're only seeing the 3. The one at the top is also a point, right? We can consider this our turning point right here at the top of this. Sorry, I hate this computer. Yeah. So right here at the top, we have our turning point. It stopped at 0, 3. So we're going to put 0 here and then the 3 here. Okay. So what other points can I put in to make this symmetrical? Well, if I extend this line down, I have to match it. So the other side would have to be, if I have a y value of 2, I need to have a y value of 2 over here. So then my other one was going to be here. Okay, what would make it symmetrical over here? If I move over 2 and I have a y value of -1, and then move over 3. So you see how I'm matching that stuff up. So then my new points would be 1, 2. 2, -1. And 3, -6. Okay. And you can tell from the table, this is where we're seeing that pattern come from. -6, -1, 2, 3, 2, -1, -6, right? We look for that repetition, that symmetrical pattern. All right, so with that information, you guys are going to figure out B, C, D, and E. And again, some of this stuff was on old homeworks, that fill in the blank homework I gave you. So look at that if you need help. And I did post those answers. You can always look at that on the Google Classroom. And then you guys will do, you will look at graphs A and B. So these are both quadratics. One's shooting up and one's turning down. You'll fill in the tables and then you'll tell me this stuff. You can, if you're able to, write in the document. If not, you can write on a piece of paper and just tell me your answers. All right.